So I know how to drill a bit in. So, you drill, then you stop a little bit, let it cool down, drill, especially when you're going into concrete, brick, or any type of masonry work.
Yeah.
So the bit that I had a smaller bit because I didn't want to use one of the what are those things called? I forgot that quick. The little plastic piece you put in the wall, then you screw the screw in, and I forgot what it's called. I didn't want to put one of
Like a
those
watch
in.
kind of thing?
Kind of, that's not what it's called. I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I didn't want to use that. I was just gonna screw the screw into the wall. But then my bit got so hot that it melted and it broke off in the wall.
Oh my God! Damn.
So then I had to use the one that they gave, like in the actual for the doorbell.
Yeah.
And so I'm drilling, and I'm like, it's not going any further. The dang bit had died. So I thought I gave it enough time to cool off. So I twist the drill to take the bit out, and I looked down, and I had burnt my finger. Ooh. And I seared a part of my finger with the drill bit, and I had like all type of sear marks and stuff in my hand. Oh man! And the crazy thing is, I didn't even feel it. Like that's why I'm so. It was so hot, it burnt me so quickly. I didn't even feel it. Like I just looked down and was like, man, I didn't burnt myself with the drill bit. But I was able to get all of that taken care of, and customer tipped me and everything. So
like good, awesome. Yeah, I guess it was worth it, right?
Yeah,
worth the burn and everything.
Yeah.
you probably didn't feel it. Did you feel it when you looked at sometimes when your body doesn't register until you look at the pain?
Even when I looked at it, I still didn't see it. Like I still didn't feel it. Like I'm pressing on, I'm hitting on it. And I'm like, man, this thing must have like really got good because I don't even feel it. Now I got burnt on 2 of my fingers. So one of my fingers, the middle finger, I barely touched it and that burnt it. But the bit was actually sitting on my finger and I didn't even notice it. Yeah, so I didn't even feel it.
Damn, at least it didn't get any worse than that in any way.
Yeah, I cleaned it out and everything. It ain't as bad as it was originally.
Yeah.
Like you could see the mark, but it's not bad at all. So when I was a kid, my father, he had me help him hook up his stereo system in his car. And back when they used to jimmy rig the stereo systems and stuff. So I'm young, I'm super young. I didn't know nothing. He was like, hey, hold these wires on the battery terminals for me. So me not knowing, I had the wires on my fingers on the battery terminals like this. So when he cranked up the car to get the power, I burnt it electrocuted me and burnt the wire marks into the tips of my fingers. And he was like, you were supposed to hold the ends of it. I said, I didn't know, you ain't tell me. I'm supposed to know. I think I probably wasn't even 10 at the time. I was like 8. I had never been underneath the hood before. Like I didn't know. I didn't even know what he was doing. He just said, hold these 2 wires right here on this right here.
You got to figure out the rest. Right?
So yeah, that was that.
They gone now. Early manhood training.
Mikaya, how you doing today, bro?
Yo, shalom, bro. Yeah, everything good. No complaints.
Good, man.
What's up, Mikaya?
Shalom, bro. What's going on?
Not much. All is well.
Good to hear, man. Yeah, they're relaxing, chilling.
Hell yeah, I hear that.
You got any more orders today?
Nah, I ain't had none today. I got some good feedback. One of the teachers, she helped me out at the school and all with completing this course. You know what I mean? So I had, I was told, I was like, yo, whatever I got, you can have it. Like what you want. So I told her, I got some juices for her. She ain't come one day. Then I had 2 of the beets. I do one called Favor Red. With we got beets in it, cantaloupe, red apple, and oranges. Man, she loved it. She was like, yo, I love beets, so I can't wait. She tried it. She was like, she definitely enjoyed it. Most people say they don't like beets, who I know, I come in contact with. But then they always tell me, like, no, I really like this.
Yeah. Most people don't even know what beets taste like. Like they just be talking.
Straight up.
because beets are really sweet. Like,
I love beets.
Like I'll eat, man, because my wife used to have me juice her when she was pregnant with our first child. She would have me juice her beets and stuff, and because my wife didn't eat meat, so that's how she would get some of those nutrients from beets. And I would just sometimes I cut the beet up and I just eat the beet, and I'm like, how could people say they don't like this? Like it has a sweet taste. It's good. It's good for you. Yeah. Man, my wife made some last week. She made some vegan spaghetti, but instead of using noodles, because I'm doing my fast, instead of using noodles, she used spaghetti squash. Bro, man,
it's crazy you say that. I just made some. I just made a pasta a couple of days ago. We just finished it off. It was oh man, what was it? Zucchini noodles. Yep, I used the zucchini noodles. Something with bust.
Yeah, but that spaghetti squash, man. Y'all had spaghetti squash before, right? Yeah. So like,
I love it. Like that thing, the texture and everything.
Yeah,
like,
and that's the thing. It gets spaghetti because usually spaghetti is kind of mushy or whatever, but it gave the spaghetti a crunch, and I was like, oh yeah, that was needed right there, boy.
It changed your life.
Yeah, it was real good, man. Yeah. The joys of having a spouse. Joys, boy. Alex, how you doing today, bro?
Not bad.
How you feeling?
Awesome. Better than yesterday and better than the day before that. So making progress to success. So, I mean, I was feeling great until he talked about spaghetti with a crunch in it. I'm like, nah, have no crunch, bro. I mean, I've had like the zucchini stuff and I've had the squash, but I mean, I cooked it so it was soft too, like a regular noodle. I never had it with a crunch.
No, my wife she baked the not the spaghetti. She baked the spaghetti squash, and then when she strained it out, with the fork, it came out stringy. So it was, like a noodle imitation, and it was. Yeah, I liked it. I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
He said, "Yeah, I like it."
I like it. I'm gonna have to definitely make me some more of that, boy.
I mean, if it's healthy and it tastes good, then I guess you got something working right.
Yes, sir. And shoot, now that we done got that, man, we can make all type of pasta, especially like an olive oil garlic pasta. Yeah, that'll be good right there. Got the vegan shrimp. Make some shrimp pasta, vegan shrimp pasta. Yep, doing all of that.
Yeah, I'll be in town this weekend to go grab some.
Or the vegan shrimp.
The vegan shrimp and chicken that first story on the market.
Is that the one that's on what's that on Ponce de Leon, right? Up the street from the Cab Farmers Market.
Yep.
That's where we go get ours from too.
Man.
Yes, sir. And they be having a different type of vegan shrimp in there too.
Shrimp, chicken, steak, all that.
I don't know. My wife, she got the what is it? The freeze dried vegan beef. And it was good. I don't know. I just can't do it too much. I can't do too much of it. I don't know. It made my stomach hurt. She made it like 3 times. The first 2 times it was straight. And then we had it when we went to Sage House. But then the last time she made it, I don't know. Maybe because I was sick. I don't know what it was. But yeah, that vegan dry beef was good. Yeah, get all of that. Oh man, my wife. Last thing, and then we're gonna get started. So, and Alex, you remember when my wife and I got married, we did the whole menu. Like her and I cooked all the food ourselves. Like the day of our wedding, we cooked all the food for all the guests and everything. And so, but Alex, you was there helping. My bad. We did it all. I forgot Alex and my sister was there. My grandma was there. They helped, but we all cooked like the food.
It was team effort.
And my wife had made some jerk jackfruit. Man, that stuff was so good.
Wow.
Oh man, that jerk jackfruit was amazing. With the peppers and onions and everything in it, with the dry jack seasoning, she let it sit and marinate for a little bit, and then she baked it. I just told her the other day she need to make some more of that. That stuff is so good right there.
Right.
Yeah, so you
I
got to
didn't know
try
y'all
that.
took like that. I was like, oh, Georgia just changes people.
Yeah, you got to try that. You got to try that jerk jackfruit. You eat jackfruit?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Would you usually get the actual fruit, or you go get it out the can?
No, we've tried both. You know what I mean? It's harder, of course, doing it yourself. And the texture is different.
Yeah.
It's a lot more firm. You know what I mean? But yeah, I definitely we like it either way.
So yeah, my wife should go get the can, and then she'll put it through like the cheesecloth and squeeze it, get it all dried out, and then she'll like shred it apart with like a fork, and then she'll just season it up with the jerk seasoning and cut the peppers and onions up in there, put a little aluminum foil over it, sit, let it marinate, and then put it in the oven and bake it. Boy, ain't too much like it. It really not, man.
Yeah, because we tried it. We put it in the air fryer.
Oh yeah. I mean, we done made it all types of ways. Yeah.
So we like doing it on the one of our most favorite things is doing it on tacos.
Yeah.
With the jackfruit.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and that's how I got introduced to it, because Publix used to sell the jackfruit bites. I'm sorry, not jackfruit, but they had to sell the jackfruit. It would come in the Tex-Mex flavor and a barbecue flavor, and that's how I first would get introduced to it. I first got introduced to it. So I used to when I used to teach, I used to be walking around like on my breaks and stuff, and the other teachers or the other staff be like, "What's that?" And I'm like, I'm eating the jackfruit right out the bag. And they like, "What's that?" I'm like, "It's jackfruit." Like, I ain't never heard of that before. But yeah, so I used to love it. But and I turned them on to like, this tastes just like meat. I'm like, yeah, that's the whole purpose of it. So you ain't got to eat as much meat as you used to. But yeah, it's good, man. Matter of fact, I'm going to the store tomorrow's get me some jackfruit, make me some jerk jackfruit for Shabbat. But all right, gentlemen, enough with the food. We're going to go ahead and get started with the lesson. I appreciate everybody being on the call today, gentlemen. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate those of you all who decided to watch the call at a later date. I appreciate you all being here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. A second here to share my screen. I hope everybody that's watching the call at a later date, I hope that you all are having a great day today. Hope that the message that we bring forth is edifying, and that you're able to get something from it. So, all right, gentlemen, so we are starting. This is the Setting Your Intentions, session 19. We are session 19. So of the Setting Your Intentions seminar, we have session 19. So we're going to go to session basically 22. So was that Friday? It would be 20. Yeah, so we got 3 more sessions of this Setting Your Intentions seminar, gentlemen. So we're going to make sure we just get everything outlined, hammered out, so that when we go ahead and finish this thing on up, we can go right to the Most High and put our intentions out there, and then move forward in what it is that we want to move forward and accomplish in the next 365 days once we get started. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it come to be. I'm really excited because I know personally in my life, I've spent so much time being afraid of the power that I possess, being afraid to fully embrace it, to to really ask for something, not out of anger. Like, it's one thing to ask for things because you're emotionally riled up and then seeing that come to be. But like to just be at a calm peace in a calm state and then ask for things and then see it come to be, or see things come to be and not be fearful, just like, no, this is what I want and expect it to happen. Like, I'm excited to see that. So that's why I can't wait to move forward in this. Like, I'm in a totally different mind space now. So overview, major topics we have covered. Now, this isn't everything that we've covered, but just to go and give a recap, we've done our SWOT analysis, our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. We've done our SMART goal assessments, which is making sure that it's specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time-based. We've done reverse engineering. We've done the 5 W's of goal setting. We've yesterday, which was very powerful, which was crafting the prayer, really going through how to craft the prayer, craft the prayer that we want to give up or say to the Most High in order to get our intention started. We've been doing a 21-day fast, and we've been doing a daily reading. So we've been doing a lot, and this is just, a portion of the things that we've covered. We've covered so much so far in these last 19 days, gentlemen. So we've put in a lot of work. I'm proud of everyone that has been here putting in the work. So, introduction. Who are we? Infrastructure of a Man. As we know, Infrastructure of a Man is an organization and a consultant business that works with men to help them overcome mental blocks and stuck points. We also help men restructure their ideas as well as help them create new ideas. We work together to form a support system where men can go to be understood, supported, as well as have an accountability group that will encourage one another to achieve the goals that they have set forth for their life. Our aim is to ensure that real men prevail. I am Virgil Johnson. I'm the speaker today, speaker every day, but I'm Virgil Johnson. I'm an author, a public speaker. I have a consulting business. I'm a husband. I'm a father. I have 2 works that are on Amazon right now. The first work is a book titled Making Your Enemy Your Footstool: How to Use the American System to Your Benefit as a Black Individual in America. And then my second work is a journal, the Garden Bed of Life Journal. They're both on Amazon. You can go and purchase both of those works today if you feel like there's something that you could benefit from, as well as someone that you may know may be able to benefit from. So, the topic of today is men and self-care. Quote, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. The reason why I wanted to do this topic today is it's great that we all have things that we want to accomplish and things that we want to do, but in those goals and intentions that we have and desires that we have that we want to accomplish, in that you have to take time to care for yourself. If we do not care for ourselves, especially as men, because we carry so many burdens already, then that causes us to have a higher probability of burnout. So it's very important that you tend to the self-care aspect. Many men do not take self-care serious, and the numbers show that we don't take self-care serious. I have it up on my wall because this is my motivation to do what I do on a daily basis. So I'm going to read it real quick. And this is a few years old, but these numbers are actually higher than this now. But 84 men a week take their own life. 75% of all suicides are males. That number is actually up to 79, almost 80%. So I think actually it's 111 men take their life a week from suicide now. And men are less likely to get help. And then I have up here also, speaking out, talking saves lives. We for whatever reason, and we know the reason, but there's a reason that we have programmed within us and implanted within us that tells us we just have to just take anything. Like we're men, we're tough, we're strong, so we should just be able to take all types of abuse and not have to reset, not let it bother us, just keep pushing forward, just keep taking abuse and keep pushing forward. That is absolutely asinine. That's why the numbers are the way that they are, because that mindset is implanted in us. So what happens is we get to a point to where we're like, I can't take it anymore. And we feel like the only way out is to check out. We feel like the only way out is to take our life. When most times, all it takes is a little reset. And I've been there personally myself, and I know we've all been there. And I know I was, going through having me a mental episode or whatever, and just going through it, just dealing with a lot of issues and stuff like that. And literally a 30-minute car drive where I didn't focus on any of my responsibilities totally changed my mindset. And I started doing that almost daily. At that point in time, when I really needed it, I did do it daily. And my wife understood. And I would go take my 30 minutes and I would not think about any of my responsibilities. And that's hard as a man, because we're programmed as problem solvers. So we're always thinking about what's the next problem that needs to be solved. What's the next thing? What's the next feat that I have to conquer? We're programmed that if you aren't doing something productive, then you're being lazy or you're wasting time, all this and that. We're gonna get into some of those things today and touch on some of those topics, because we have to dispel a lot of those notions, because they just flat out aren't true, and they're actually more detrimental to our health than beneficial. What is self-care? Self-care is a set of rituals, regimens, or practices that help individuals recharge, recenter, and achieve balance in their own well-being and happiness. Self-care takes work and time and is more than just pampering yourself. So this is the thing. When we hear the word self-care, a lot of us think of women sitting around in the spa, or women sitting around in each other's house with cucumbers over their eyes and towels wrapped around their heads and yogurt on their face or whatever. Like that, it's more than just pampering yourself, gentlemen. Self-care covers multiple facets of life. And in order to be productive at it and to be successful at it, you have to understand all of the components of self-care. Self-care is also the act of taking time to focus on yourself. You allocate certain time each day or even just weekly to put your stressors on the back burner with the goal of improving your mental health. For those of y'all who are listening to this right now, and if you're watching this at a later date, I need you to understand it is okay if you take a few moments and you aren't thinking about, let's say, your children. That doesn't mean you don't love your children. It doesn't mean that you love your children less. If it's okay if you take a few moments and you're not thinking about your wife. That doesn't mean that you don't love your wife. Doesn't mean that you don't want to be with your wife. It's okay if you take a few moments and you aren't concerned with whatever in the house needs to be fixed, because there's an endless list of things that always needs to be fixed. That doesn't mean that you don't care about your home. That doesn't mean that you don't want your home. That doesn't mean that you don't value your home. What these things mean when you take time to stop thinking about your responsibilities, that means that you're actually valuing your worth in the circumstance that you're in. You understand the importance of your role. You understand the importance of your role as a father. You understand the importance of your role as a husband. You understand the importance of your role as a what is it called in scripture? A husbandry, a vineyard. Like, you understand your role as the leader of the home. You understand your role in the community. You understand your role at work. It does you no good to go and bust your tail at work every day, all day, taking extra assignments, doing all these things. Then you burn out, and then you end up having some type of breakdown, or you end up in the hospital for 6 months because you stress yourself out. And then they go and bring somebody else in to do the job that you were doing. It does you no good. If you want to be as efficient as you know you can be, you have to take time for self-care. You have to literally give yourself an opportunity where you aren't thinking about your responsibilities. And it can be hard when you first start. I'm not going to say it's going to be easy where you can just, let me just stop thinking. Because as men, we're programmed to try to fix problems. So we're always thinking about problems. But that's a detriment to us. That's why we lead the world in strokes, cardiovascular disease, cardiac arrest, heart attacks, high blood pressure. All of these things come from stress. If you get opportunity to read the book titled "The Body Keeps the Score," The Body Keeps the Score does a great job of showing scientific research on how mental things physically affect the body. One of the stats that they give in there is people who suffer from certain stressors deal with certain aspects. Let's just say, for instance, an individual who has dealt with some type of like sexual abuse trauma. Typically, people who deal with some type of abuse when they're a child, not typically, but a lot of times, people who deal with some type of abuse as a child, they end up developing what is called, oh man, it's just slipped my mind just that quick. I'll come back to it. But it's very important that you get your mental state right, because your mental state affects the rest of your body. You have to make sure you get your mental state right. They end up developing autoimmune deficiency and diseases. That's what it is. So a lot of people who suffer some type of abuse, if they don't get the proper help for it, eventually those thoughts and those feelings manifest physically in the body as an autoimmune deficiency or disease. And autoimmune deficiency or disease is when your body starts attacking itself and your body starts literally killing itself. So starting a self-care regimen. First off, you want to start off with one step at a time. Rather than trying to overhaul your life overnight, pick one area where you could build a new habit and then build on that. So example, taking personal time. Alex, you and I talked about this a while before, and I'm going to use part of our conversation as an example here. I remember I called Alex and I asked him, I said, hey, you took some personal time for yourself? And he was like, yeah. I said, oh, what you did? He said, oh, I went outside. And what did you do? You went outside and was fixing the sprinklers or something. And I said, bro, that doesn't count. like that's a noble deed, but that doesn't count. Like you're still focused on something that you need to fix at the house. That's not taking personal time. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember. It was peace and quiet outside though.
Yeah. You gave me a whole bunch of rational reasons why, that should work. But it's like, nah, bro. Like I get it, but nah, that's not it. But stuff like that, like when you're taking your personal time, you have to literally take time away from all your responsibilities. And I'm not saying you got to be going for like months at a time. Like even if it's 30 minutes, like when I go on my drives, I will get in the car, I will go out the driveway, I will turn on some jazz music, and I will ride around. And the only thing that I'm focused on is the nature around me. So the trees, the grass, the dirt. I may go up to a park, just looking out, maybe go some water, drive by some water. I'm not focused on what's going on. And then after those 30 minutes, I head back home. And then when I get back in the house, I literally feel like a recharged battery. And I'm able to tackle the task in which I have next. Before I didn't do that. And so what happened is my frustrations would then manifest negatively. So I would have these big blow-ups, and I would have these blow-ups because the blow-up was my way subconsciously of trying to get my peace and quiet to myself. But because I felt like, I can't take any peace and quiet, I can't take time for myself, with so much to do, or men are just supposed to be able to put up with stuff. I got to be stronger, or why am I being this weak? All this BS that we've been indoctrinated with. Now I'm exploding on my loved ones. Now I'm exploding on family members. Now I'm, exploding on friends. And I'm trying to that's how I figured out how to push people away, when it's like, I don't have to do all of that. All I literally have to do is just say, hey, I need some time to myself. And when I told my wife that, my wife was like, why haven't you done this earlier? Like, she didn't say, oh my gosh, how could you? No, so why haven't you done this earlier? So a lot of times your spouse will understand. And if your spouse doesn't understand, so what? You still need it. Guess what? When you go out and you go and reset and you come back, you'll be recharged to deal with her understanding or her non-understanding. But if you have not recharged and you're trying to deal with that, you're going to have what's called an amygdala hijacking. And amygdala hijacking is when you basically lose all reason and rationale out of your mind. And then that's how arguments start and the fighting starts. And then you're like, how did I even allow that to happen? Yeah, because you didn't give your mind time to rest. So other areas that you could get in exercise, hygiene routine, meditation, self-pampering, journaling. These things, they work, gentlemen. Like I used to be a man. I used to think all of this stuff was BS and mediocre and you know, palm fromish and all of that, you know, soft and feeble, all of that. And I said, you know what? The way I've been thinking, the way I've been doing things have not given me the desired result that I've been looking for. Maybe I need to try this stuff. Some of this stuff, you know, meditating, self-pampering, journaling. Like I did journaling, that right there, like it was some stuff that I just had to get out. And once I got out, and I just kept writing. Like my sister ordered me a 5-minute journal, and it was cool. But once I took the time limit on myself and just started writing, it was like a therapy session. And it was things that I didn't even realize was in my subconscious that needed to come out. But it was because I continued to write my emotions and feelings for 30, 45 minutes, as opposed to, you know, just 5 minutes or, you know, just trying to suppress it. So that helped. The self-pampering. Some men are great at this. Some men, you know, y'all gonna have every pair of Jordans, every pair of Air Maxes. You're gonna have the newest clothing. Some men are great at this, and I commend you all. Some of us have struggled with this for a long time. I want to let y'all know. I know y'all see me with this, you know, this gold chain that I got. This is the first piece of jewelry I've bought myself since I've been an adult. For many different reasons that we'll discuss, you know, in the later date at a later time. I just never bought myself jewelry. You know, one of the reasons I felt like I hadn't, quote unquote, earned it. Like, I still got this, I got to take care of this, I got to do. I haven't accomplished this, I haven't accomplished that. I can't spend the money on this because I still got. And then, you know, one day I was like, you know what? Let me try thinking differently. Let me just get, you know, a couple of pieces of jewelry just to reward myself for just doing the things and accomplishing the things that I already have. Or just to give myself a gift. Like, it's okay to give yourself a gift, gentlemen. It's okay to have nice things. You know, some men, they don't feel like they should have jewelry. Like a lot of men, they'll wear like rope and leather and all of that. And not because they're like, oh no, this is no, they really don't feel like they're deserving of wearing gold and diamonds and silver. Like, there's some men who really feel that way. And you got to realize, no, you are worthy of that, especially if you're working. And you're still worthy. Like, we all go through highs and lows, but you got to understand, like, these things are needed. When it comes to a hygiene routine, like, many of us, our hygiene routine sucks, to be honest with you. We suck at this. I was talking to my wife, and she was saying, you know, her best friend, he was telling her best friend's husband, you know, said he didn't start wearing lotion until he got to college. And the only reason why he did it because a girl that he had a crush on, you know, chewed him out real bad for not wearing lotion. How many of us do that? Like, my hair dry right now. My hair dry and cracking. Like, you know, I really got to start doing, you know, better hygiene, but I've started. Like, and I didn't know, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know where to start. And I went to Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels laid that thing all the way out. Like, you need to. And at first, as I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh, this girl lit. I was like, hold on. Once again, me thinking the way that I have thought has not gotten me the results that I have wanted. So let me try this. And so when he said, hey, you need a loofah for your body, you need a face rag, then you need a rag specifically for your genitals and buttock area. Don't wash your body with the same rag. Your loofah shouldn't touch your genitals. Your face rag shouldn't touch your body. Then you need to have a shower moisturizer. You need to have a face scrub. I said, man, it's a lot, but I started little by little. Went to the store, got me a couple of loofahs, got me the moisturizer lotion that you put on in the shower. Like, it gets activated by the water. So after you wash your body, you put the lotion on in the shower while you're still wet. That way I'm already in there. I didn't already slather this, the same thing. Got me some specific soap for men. Like, before, I just, whatever my wife would buy, I would just use it. Oh, I don't care. No, I actually went in and found some soap that is manly soap that actually moisturizes my skin as a man. Because my skin and my wife's skin not the same skin. Like we have two different things. And then you need a moisturizer for your face. And a moisturizer for your face is not the same moisturizer that goes on your skin. Like these are all things that I had to learn. On top of starting to get more cologne and all of that. Like, hey, like it's not even that, you just wanna start really showing that you take care of yourself. And everybody has something different. Some men like to wear oils. Some men like to wear certain sprays. Some men like to wear perfumes. Everybody has something different. But when it comes to the hygiene, like this is the part of it. You got to really take care of yourself. And it's an extra 10 to 15 minutes, but wake up an extra 10, 15 minutes early and make sure you do it. Get you a nice beard oil, beard balm, all of these types of things. Like just start incorporating these things little by little into your routine. Because it makes a difference. When you start actually pouring into yourself, then your mind is like, oh man, wait, hold on. Like I care. Like I care about me. Like I am important. Like I am important. And then what happens is now your mind starts being more creative for you, because it's like, oh no, we're valuable. And your mind starts seeing yourself as valuable. And then your mind starts producing more value. And I felt it myself. Like this is me. Like I felt it myself. So make sure that you start these self-care regimens if you have not already. So I want to get into relaxing the mind, because self-care at the end of the day is about relaxing the mind. So default mode network. The default mode network, or DMN, of the brain consists of areas that are typically more active during rest than during active task performance. So basically, your brain has a resting state. And when you're in a resting state, that's when your mind is working and moving. Mikaya, you there?
Coming up.
When you work out, because you used to play college football and you work out, when you work out, when does your muscles build up? Is it when you're working
when you're
sleeping? So it's not when you at the gym, right?
Right.
What's happening to your muscles when you at the gym?
Really, you tearing it down and
yes, sir.
You tearing it down.
Sir, you're tearing your muscles down. Your brain is the same exact way, gentlemen. Your brain is the same exact way. So when you're always involving your brain in tasks and you're always thinking of things and you're always doing things, when you have your brain engaged, it's akin to going to the gym and working out. So you got a lot of people who they be at the gym and they be lifting, and then they'll go flex in the mirror, like, oh, I'm getting bigger. Your muscle is getting torn down. Just like you got people in this world who they doing all of these different activities, different things, and they're like, oh man, I'm getting smarter. And they'll never get their brain the time to rest. It's when your body is at rest is when it rebuilds the muscles. Just like your brain is when it's at rest, it rebuilds the brain. If you don't give your brain time to rest, we're going to go into some of the things that happen. So recent studies have already demonstrated that the brain's default mode network, that when the brain's default mode network is disrupted, or it is disrupted in these things: autism. So that means when people who suffer from autism, one of those contributing factors could be a restless mind. Their default mode network is disrupted, which means their mind isn't resting, or that part of the mind isn't resting. Alzheimer's disease, depression, schizophrenia, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. It's suggesting that the study of brain resting activity can be useful to understand disease states as well as potentially provide diagnostic information. So when your brain is not at rest, you give yourself a higher probability of having to deal with these ailments. That's why it's very important that you allow your brain to rest, gentlemen. It does you no good to do all of these things to build up this life, and then when you 40, 50, 60 years old, you can't enjoy it because you can't remember it because you have Alzheimer's. Does you no good to try and build up all these things and then you can't enjoy it because you're depressed and you killed yourself. So you have to give yourself an opportunity to rest. I'm gonna tell you, I started trading in the stock market a few years back in 2014, 15, but I really started, doing it like actually doing it, maybe 2019, 2020. And one of the things that they tell you is it's easy. Like historically, you will make more money if you just, like for instance, invest in the S&P 500. Now you got a lot of people who they like try to time the market. They try and do all these different things. They try to, with stock going up, with stock going down. If you literally just put your money and you continually put your money in the S&P and you don't think about it, you just put your money in there, you will make more money than someone who is trying to jump around and get all the different stocks all the time. Your brain is the same way. Like, this is a life lesson. Like, if you just allow yourself to rest, like, you're going to get to whatever it is that you need to get to. You're going to be successful because you're putting in the work. But if you're overworking yourself, you're actually doing more harm and detriment to especially to your mind, than if you allowed yourself to rest some. You ain't got to overthink it. You ain't got to get too deep with it. Take the time to rest. Take the time to deal with self-care. Like, you got people who work all this time and doing all this and that. And here's the thing. Also, people don't know what it looks like. People don't know what it look like. So they may hear somebody like Gary Vee or Mark Cuban say, I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. And what Mark Cuban and Gary Vee's definition of work is not what your definition of work is. So you go listen to these rich, famous people who are rich and famous, and you're trying to be rich and famous like them. And so you're like, okay, what do they do? And you're like, okay, he does it. But you don't realize y'all don't share the same definitions. Y'all don't. So they're doing certain things. And then you're thinking, oh, this is what they mean, but that's not what they mean. Like, you may be, I got to work a grind. So let's just say you may be out trying to do a construction job for 14 hours a day. No, they're not doing hard labor 14 hours a day. Like, working on a business, like, I'm going to tell you, because I've actually sit and watched some of their interviews. Like, Gary Vee working on his business could be walking through the mall and speaking to people. Like, and people are like, who are you? Oh, I'm Gary Vee. That's him working on his business. Working on his business could be posting to social media. Working on his business could be him meditating. Like, that's literally him working on his business. Oh, I'm meditating because I need to get my mind right to create more ideas for my business. Like, that's working on their business. Now, yes, they do a lot of other things, and they have a grueling schedule, but their definitions and your definitions aren't matching up, and that's why you're burning yourself out, because you feel like you got to do all this crazy stuff, and it's because you're thinking from your mindset and not theirs. So give yourself the opportunity to relax your mind and rest. So you want to aim to feel the major three: physical, mental, spiritual. These are the three things you want to aim to feel when you are resting. Like, how can I better be at peace? And how can I really get to where I need to get to in these three areas? Working out does, it helps to release a lot of these things. Like, just simply going out on a walk consistently, going to the gym, running, going to the gym, lifting weights. All of these things, they help. So what happens, even eating raw vegetables helps, because what happens when you eat raw vegetables, what it does is it sends your body into a temporary stressful state, but it's a good stressful state. So then what happens is, when you're eating the raw vegetables, your body goes into a stressful state, but then it learns how to adapt to it. And in the future, when you go through more stressful states, you're able to be in a calmer state of mind, because something as simple as eating raw vegetables taught your body how to deal with stressful situations. Like little stuff like this. People aren't too keen on, but these are something as little as that. So maybe I need to eat some more raw carrots or raw broccoli. Maybe eat, a bowl of raw broccoli 3 times a week or something like that. That helps. Getting yourself under controlled stress can help you deal with uncontrolled stress. That's why exercise works so well. That's why exercise lowers depression, because it teaches your body how to deal with a stressful situation without going into panic mode. Another thing is you're activating your vagus nerve. Your vagus nerve, you activate your vagus nerve. One of the ways you activate your vagus nerve, one of the things that you can do also, this helps as well. And I know a lot of men, they don't like it, but take your cold showers. If you go in there, you take your shower, you take a cold shower, that helps lower stress as well. So these are, just some ways that you can lower stress, along with the journaling, the self-pampering, the meditating, the affirmations, the taking a walk, the working out. Something as simple as taking a cold shower. It sends your body into shock, and then it teaches your body how to deal with stress. So when you have a stressful situation, your body doesn't get overexcited. It knows how to stay at that baseline because you're taking cold showers. Like, that's what it does. Your vagus nerve, and then you activating your vagus nerve, it does all of those things as well. So these are just some tips that you all can use. So implementation, I want to talk real quick. Let's take a few moments to think, how can you improve your self-care in the physical, mental, and the spiritual aspect? So let's take a couple of moments to do that right now, maybe like a minute, and then we'll move on. So I'm gonna go ahead and share mine really quick. So how can I improve my self-care? Physically, I definitely can exercise more. That's one of the things that I want to start doing, especially with my children. I'm getting up early in the mornings, doing, a workout or going to the YMCA up the street. They open up at 6, going up there, working out. That's definitely something I want to do. That'll definitely help a lot. As far as mental, for me, being more proactive, less procrastination. So I think I'll be less stressed mentally once I stop procrastinating. And with my fast of me not procrastinating, I see the difference. Like, I'm doing things earlier, so now that unnecessary stress and pressure of, oh my gosh, this is the last minute, I got to get this done, it's not there. And there are a couple of times where I have procrastinated on things, and I see how much mental stress it causes versus getting it done. Like, for instance, if I'm doing these lessons that I'm putting together for y'all, and I wait to the last minute to get it done, I'm like pushing and like, oh my gosh, like kids screaming in the background. Now I'm going crazy. Wife asking me questions. I'm short because I'm like, I got to focus to get this done. But when I finish my lessons in the morning or the early afternoon, sometimes the night before, ain't no stress. Now if it's 7:45 and the kids hollering and screaming, it doesn't bother me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't have anything to do. I'm just sitting here, waiting for 8 o'clock to roll around. so I can actually be more involved in that aspect and getting them calmed down. And then spiritual, meditate. Definitely meditating will help on this spiritual journey, and just really getting down to where it is I need to get to spiritually. So Travis, you mind sharing with us your 3?
Yes, sir. So physical for me is definitely just keep maintaining my workout routine. Sometimes I would like slack off with that, but I definitely know that when I do work out, I overall feel better. So just stretching is definitely good for me.
I need to add that too. I'm glad you said that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, absolutely. Mental, I'll definitely say just reading. Like just keep feeding, like because I notice in myself, like if I'm not mentally engaged or like just feeding my mind, I do get kind of like depressed, or my moods are change because I feel like I'm not growing or doing anything. So
but hold on now, remember what we talked about.
That's true. Yeah, for sure.
You got to give
Yeah.
yourself that time to break, because that's when your mind grows. That's when your mind is, when you're at rest, that's when your mind starts working. And that's when like everything that you've taken in, and is it just for you? This is for, I need a lot of men to understand this. Now, I'm not saying sitting around to be a sloth, but if you give yourself just that time to just sit and just think, not even think, just sit, just chill. That's when your mind starts creating those, like it takes the information that you've taken in, and then it starts filtering it and creating, new neuron connections, and it starts putting things together and filling gaps and doing all of that when you give yourself that time to think. And especially when you give yourself that time to think and then go back. Then that's why a lot of times scientists, when they get stuck on something, what do? They step away from it, and when they come back, the answer's like right there, like, I couldn't think. That's because your mind was too busy working. But the answer came to you once you rested. So yeah, remember that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's just something I need to just keep in mind. And I do want to just to keep reading at least daily. Just keep feeding my mind, my mental, and spiritual, like you said, like meditating and just keeping my spirit full. Not extending myself beyond what I can do. Just keeping myself calm and grounded and centered.
Yes, definitely. Appreciate you sharing that.
No problem.
Mikaya, you got yours next?
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say just overall, so on the self-care side, overall, man, it just go back to putting self first. So whatever is needed. I'll say that. Like the biggest thing is whatever is needed in that moment for your mental health. A lot of times I would definitely wasn't putting myself first. Still need to buy myself some things, different clothes, stuff like that. I always been one to try to, make sure that the family's good first before I take care of self. And it's like now coming to chat, man, it's been like a weight off, definitely getting the family here and all that also. To where it's like I can prioritize things to where I can put myself first and not feel guilty for it. So I say like just as far as just like you said, it's okay to buy yourself things, man. Buying yourself something nice, so I definitely got to do that more. I said the next thing I'm probably gonna buy myself is some shoes. I ain't gonna walk out of my own life, so definitely give me some shoes soon. Outside of that, definitely said I wanted to be able to, pray more. And I pray. So I got the app, the Muslim Pro app on my phone.
Okay.
And so it alerts, for the different times to pray. So I make sure like that, I can get a quick prayer in, however the case may be, but at the same time, like really like just getting up in the morning, taking time to pray. At night, same thing, just taking that time to pray, because it's like by having those timers throughout the day, like those set times that you got to pray and all, I feel like at times it can just take away from the authenticity of it, from you just wanting to and willing to, just do it on your own. And I can definitely say, like, as of late, I definitely stopped procrastinating on a lot of things. But that was one of the things within this whole 21-day fast. Like, that's something that I really want to work on. As far as, hey, if I can do something, whatever it is I can do it all within that day.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
yeah, man.
Good. Good. Alex, you got yours?
I mean, yeah, the first thing that came in mind was something I actually I did a little fast back in November that was real similar to exactly what we're touching on. It was a 20-day fast I did. I called it like 20 for the temple. And it was about taking care of myself, taking care of my temple, and I focused on my physical, my mental, and my spiritual. And when I was doing that, man, it made me feel like a whole nother person. But then eventually got to the point where I wasn't making that a priority anymore, and just went right back to not putting time into it.
Yeah.
But the first, I focused 20 minutes in each category, so I would wake up and my first 20 minutes would be studying in the Word. So not just because, I mean, I'm a bad reader when it comes to reading in general. So a lot of times when I used to read, I would just read to get from one word to the next, and not actually taking the depth of what I'm reading.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about how much I read, but trying to just understand like what the word was talking about as I was reading it to get a better understanding. So even if I read less, it was just to get more out of it at the same
Absolutely.
time.
Yes.
And sometimes the physical and the mental came at the same time, because I would go for like a 20-minute hike or like a walk in the woods, and at the same time I'm getting my mental and my physical, because I'm taking care of both at that time. But even if I can't do that, I would do like just 20-minute workout in my room. Just if I'm short on time, just something doing switching between push-ups and sit-ups and some squats, just enough to get the body all a little
Yep.
soreness to make sure I don't got too many excuses to say no to that. I mean, I don't got no drive time in it. You can come up with 20 different excuses to do something, but when you make it simple, it's hard to fight against it. And that's what I
Absolutely.
did. Like you said, we talked about my mental time being on my sprinklers, but actually setting time for my mental health, and instead of just taking those easy way out. So a lot of my mental time was spending time in the garden.
Yeah.
Because that's when I felt that peace. That's when I felt that relaxation, and just there was no stress of the world anymore. It was just me and what was happening in my garden at that moment. So I spent 20 minutes in my garden a day.
Good. That's good. I got a quote here real quick. Came from Jay Beard. He says, only if church could teach more self-love than loving our neighbors. It's hard to love your neighbor when you're struggling with loving yourself. So as much as we want to be there for other people, I got another quote by Maya Angelou. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Let me see. I want to make sure I quote it exactly right. It says, be careful. This is from Dr. Maya Angelou. Be careful when a naked person offers you a shirt. Be careful when a naked person offers you a shirt. If we liken that to what we're talking about, it's like you're a person and you don't have anything for yourself, but you're still trying to give to other people. Like, it's the same thing. Like, imagine running around naked. It's 20 degrees outside, and you get somebody else's shirt. Like, that doesn't make any sense. But that's how we do when we aren't taking care of ourselves, and then we're still trying to help others. We're still trying to pour into other people. Like, you may not always be full, but if your cup is completely empty and you ain't got nothing else, you probably are now pouring something that's toxic into other people, whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not. And you may think it's genuine, and you may think you have good intentions, but good intentions pave the road to hell. You have to make sure you're there. I remember when I first started coaching travel basketball, I was coaching with this organization. And so we had the different age groups. So at that time I was coaching the 6th grade. were they sixth graders? Yeah, the sixth grade. I was a new coach. And this other coach, he was coaching the seventh graders. Now he had a really good team. And so the organization that we played for, or that we coached under, they covered 5 tournaments. Like the organization paid for your first 5 tournaments. Any tournament that you wanted to go to after that, your team had to pay for it themselves. So me, being a former basketball player, understanding how important playing is, I scheduled us for like 12 tournaments that season. He only went to those 5 tournaments. Now, here's the thing. A typical travel basketball season goes from, depending on we in middle school, so January, February-ish, all the way to, typically you have nationals late July, early August. So that's, half the year basically, over half the year. That's like 8 months, 6 to 8 months. So in a span of 6 to 8 months, he was having his team play 5 tournaments. Typically in a tournament, you're going to play, at minimum, you're going to play 3 games. They give you a minimum of 3 games. And then if you go and you're playing in the playoffs of the tournament, you go to a championship game, you may play 5 or 6 games. But let's just say we go to average of 4 games. So in the span of 6 to 8 months, he had his team playing a grand total of 20 games. And he's supposed to be preparing these children for the next level. They're going to be going to 8th grade and going to high school. And so I remember he was like, yeah, I was like, so we're sitting around talking as coaches, all of us, sitting around talking like, yeah, I signed my team up for 12 tournaments. These are the tournaments we're going to. And he was like, yeah, I got my team in the 5. I said, you talk about you put them in an additional 5? I said, no, the 5 that the organization paid for. I said, so you doing the bare minimum? He was like, man, look, man, it's a lot going in these tournaments. And I understood it. Like, he right. It is a lot. It is absolutely a lot when you, as, one person, maybe you have an assistant that you got to watch after, 10 to 15 teenage boys. Some of the parents are there, some of the parents aren't there. And you got to deal with the travel, make sure everybody get there, everybody. It is a lot. However, that's what you signed up for. So though he had good intentions by being there, coaching, volunteering, helping, overall, he was actually doing a disservice to these boys because he did not play them as much as they could have been played, because he didn't have the extra to give. So he thought he was helping, but he was actually being a hindrance, because they could have had a coach in there who would have took those boys to more tournaments. They actually was supposed to be my team, but because I was a newer coach, they moved me down to the team, the 6th graders who weren't that good the year before. We ended up being really good, finishing the year off really good. But that's why it's important to make sure that you take care of self first, because you could be doing more detriment to somebody if you're not. Just think, if you real aggravated at home, just think how many arguments you and your wife get in because mentally you're drained, physically you're drained. You have that amygdala hijacking, and now y'all are fighting and arguing. When had you just took in the time to reset, now when y'all have interactions, it's not an argument, it's not a fight. Now, yes, you're gonna have a disagreement, but y'all aren't gonna be yelling and screaming, or it's not gonna be tempers flaring and emotions flying everywhere. Like, you're gonna be able to rationally talk to each other. So that's why it's important to make sure that you take care of self first, and then you pour into others. So we have that. I just wanted to make sure I put that out there. So next 21-day fast. We know where we at with this 21-day fast. This is, I ain't put it on there. This is day 18. 18 of the fast. We got 3 more days, love gentlemen. 3 more days. Sunday is the last day of the fast. Travis, I know you weren't on yesterday when we did the crafting your prayer, but you want to make sure you craft your prayer, say exactly what it is that you want, remind the universe what it is that you're looking for, or what it is that you've done, and then be specific in asking what it is that you're asking for. But you want to do that before you break your fast. So Sunday is the last day of the fast. Monday, we could break our fast, but you want to make sure that you do your prayer and your, asking and your petition for your intention before you break your fast. That's very important that you do that. And those of y'all who weren't on there yesterday, that is very important that you do that. So that's that. Hope everybody, still going good with their fast, really getting something out of it. Reading. We're gonna go ahead and do a little bit of the reading from this book. Letters to a Young Brother. So we are on letter 11. We are on letter 11. It's titled Dreaming Big. I Dream for a Living. Spielberg. That was a quote from Steven Spielberg. Dear young brother, sorry, y'all. I'm writing you back from the set of a film I'm working on. It's called Premium, and we're shooting a night scene in Brooklyn. It's 3 a.m. and I'm waiting for the crew to finish lighting the set so we can shoot. One of the movie's lighting technicians just said something that made me think of you, and I wanted to pass it on. He started talking to me about happiness and what it means to be happy in one's life. He said that even though it was 3 in the morning and he was bone tired from working these crazy long hours on the movie, he was still happy because he was doing what he wanted to do. He was simply fulfilling his dreams, but he also said it wasn't easy. A lot of people don't think there's a difference between simple and easy, but there's a huge difference. He explained that it's simple. He explained that it's a simple choice for him to work on movies and do what he loves, but most times it's a lot of work and therefore it's not easy. In my first letter to you, I said that I wanted you to be unreasonably happy in your life. In order to achieve that, I need you to dream big and then get to work fulfilling those dreams. In doing so, I believe it will make you unreasonably happy. But how do I get there? You asked me in your last letter. My lighting technician's story gives a hint to the answer. How do any of us fulfill our dreams? It's simple, but it's not easy. The simple answer of how you fulfill your dreams is you believe. That's it. You dream big and believe you can do it. You believe you will do it. But then that begs the question, what is it? It is anything you want it to be. You can be a great rapper, a great student. You can be popular and get good grades. You can just chill in the cut and write the next great American novel. You can even use a pen name and no one will ever know that you wrote it. And then you can sit back and collect the checks. If you truly believe you can, you can. And check this out. Belief works in both positive and negative directions. If for some reason some parts of you wants it to be prison, then you can and probably will make that happen too. Back in the day, I had a dream of being a great rapper. One of the rhymes I wrote when I was in high school was, goals and dreams are one and the same. Just say you believe in and both you will attain. I was right on point with that rhyme, and knowing what your goals and dreams are is the simple part. You've been telling me that your only goal and dream is to make a lot of money. We've talked about this already, but it must not be sinking in. So let me set you straight. Making money is not a goal. Making money is a result. Now, there is nothing wrong with making lots of money. I make lots of money, and I like making lots of money. But making money of itself is not a goal. If your only goal is to make money, you will always be controlled by your desire for money instead of you controlling money. One key to controlling your relationship with money is to first connect with the things you love to do, and then have faith that in pursuing those things you love, you will eventually make money. Ordering your priorities that way ensures that the pursuit of money is kept in its proper perspective as a result of a goal and not the goal itself. A lot of young brothers have never been taught that in order to know what your dreams are, you have to ask yourself questions. Questions like, what do I really like? Now, what have I become comfortable liking? Not what have I become comfortable liking, but what do I like for real? You've said to me before that you like your PlayStation 2 or your music videos, but that's not really what you like. That is just stuff. If you go further and dig a little deeper inside yourself and you ask, what warms me inside? What feeds me? What do I really connect to? You're going to find answers that have less to do with things and stuff and more to do with motivation and purpose. What do I mean by that? Here's an example. A lot of people approach me and say, it must be cool doing movies and being on TV every week. You must be able to buy anything you want. But what they don't realize is that for me, what's great about acting is not the things or stuff I can buy. For me, I love the art of portraying a character that makes people laugh, cry, think, feel, or just escape for a bit. Your purpose is to do what you love and follow your dreams. It is as simple as that. However, truly living your life that way is not always easy. It takes hard work. Don't get me wrong. It took me a while to find what my purpose was and what dreams I wanted to pursue. And many experiences contributed to that discovery. The summer between my junior and senior year in high school, I was invited to a student government leadership seminar at Stanford University. A dynamic motivational speaker named John Alston walked into a classroom and handed me a workbook full of questions I had never thought to ask myself. Questions like, how do you see your walk on this earth? Where do you fit in? What are you passionate about? What makes your heart beat faster? I never knew, but the answers to these questions were inside me all along. And all it took was someone that I respected to ask them of me. Looking back, I feel that my answers to those questions commenced a new journey for me. So what are your answers to those questions? Think about it. One thing I want to point out is that sometimes God in the universe will make you passionate about one thing that ultimately will help lead you to your dreams. For instance, for me, when I was in high school, I was an all-county receiver and defensive back in football and dreamed of being a pro football player. I was the only player on my team who had run, thrown, caught, and intercepted balls for touchdowns. I truly believe that it was my purpose to dream to play in the NFL. My passion for football led me down a path to where I would ultimately find to be my true purpose. How? Well, if I had aspired to being the best football player I could be and dreamed of playing in the pros, I would not have become all county and I would have not been recruited to attend Brown University. At Brown, I gained some great experiences, but also took a random class that changed the entire direction of my life, acting. Looking back today, I can see that everything in our life happens for a reason. There are no coincidences. The only thing we need to do is to be purposeful with the choices we make as we pursue our dreams and to stay open to signs when the universe is trying to get our attention. I define faith as the contribution of belief and trust. I'm sorry. Man, I'm messing up tonight. I define faith as the combination of belief and trust. I therefore ask that you have faith in wholeheartedly following your dreams, because following those dreams will ultimately lead you to your purpose, I promise. Check it out. It's all about dreaming big and working hard. First, I want you to dream big, no bigger, okay? That's a start. Think of a dream right now. How crazy and out there. And then I want you to imagine yourself doing it. For example, inventing the coolest video game that anyone has ever played, or owning your own NFL team, or being president of the United States. Now imagine yourself working hard to do it. If you imagine being president, think of the steps you might take to get there. Like first volunteering to work on a political campaign or a local politician, on a local political campaign of a local politician, and then running for a local office yourself, like city councilman, then running for a bigger office like congressman, working in Congress, creating laws that make people's lives better, on and on until you are the press. It's possible, as is anything you can dare to imagine. There's power in visualization, but you truly have to believe in your soul that you will accomplish it. Then you have to work hard to achieve it, and working hard is simple when you enjoy what you are doing. Get it? For example, I worked very hard as an actor, countless auditions, character preparations, research, line memorization, rehearsal, and long shooting days. But all of that is simple because I love what I do. So do I mind getting up at 5 in the morning and working until midnight only to do it again the next day? No, I don't ever mind, because I'm doing what I am passionate about. That's it. You feel me? Dream big, work hard, and believe. Now, I bet you're saying, yo, I could dream big. Hell, I got that down, but I don't know what the work hard stuff is. Here's another little secret I'm going to help you to today. If you find what you love to do, then hard work becomes easy. It's more fun than just chilling or doing something or doing some job just for the money. If you're doing something you love, working hard at it is more fun than working just to work. Now that's hard. And don't think it's just me that feels this way. Tiger Woods said, I get to play golf for a living. What more can you ask for? Getting paid for doing what you love. So given that, the question that you have to answer right here, right now is, what do you love to do? Me, I love to act, and I want to do whatever it takes to best portray the character I am playing. For instance, a few years ago, I did a movie called The Visit, where I played a character who was in prison and died of AIDS. To prepare for the film, I began doing a great deal of research, interviewing inmates and speaking with many people who had AIDS. The director and I would spend hours and hours rehearsing. From my research, the director and I decided I should try to physically represent my character's my character's deterioration toward death by trying to lose 30 pounds over the course of the shooting of the movie. The director agreed to shoot the film in chronological order so that at the beginning of the film, I could look healthy, and by the end, totally skinny and sick. It was hard work to keep shooting the movie while losing weight. There were many days in a row where I ate no food at all. I only drank water. I was hungry. I would get lightheaded and sometimes forget my lines. Even though it was hard work to transform myself, I loved it because I was acting in a great movie and playing a character that I was passionate about. I'll tell you more about being passionate in life in my next letter. Working hard does sometimes, working hard doing something you enjoy makes you feel more vibrant and more alive. It's like when I'm playing a video game and I'm playing hard and I'm at the most challenging level. I'm hitting keys fast, I'm focused. That's more fun than playing an unchallenging game at a ho-hum level. The same is true for living life. But living life is just like in a video game. You got to stay in it. You got to stay in the game while you're following your dreams. Remember, I wrote you a whole letter about staying in the game. Working hard while you are in the game is equally important. Hey, I just realized that exactly 50 years ago today, Rosa Parks, who recently passed away, refused to give up her seat on a bus in Alabama. Many people believe that this act of defiance by a true American hero sparked the beginning of a civil rights movement. Being a hero in the struggle for civil rights was Rosa Parks' destiny. By doing one courageous act, she helped shape this country. That is what manifesting your destiny is all about. I'll tell you more about that in another letter. Getting back to working hard, they are calling me in to shoot the last scene of this movie. Have a great day, young brother. Write me back soon. Grace, peace, and blessings. One. All right, so here's the letter that someone sent them. Question. Hill, how do I become a superstar or something? And if I want to be a superstar, rapper, or athlete, what should I have to, why should I have to go to school? Here's his answer. I thought the best person to answer your question would be a superstar athlete. So I forwarded your email to the superstar tennis player, Venus Williams. Here's her response. School is a very important part of becoming a superstar. Education can be gained in various ways, and all of your options should be explored. My definition of a superstar is anyone who excels beyond the average person and has mastered his or her craft. To master your craft, you must be focused, passionate, and practice tirelessly to achieve perfection. You must also treat your body like a temple for exercise and healthy foods. It is also important to expand your knowledge of the world you live in. Whether you are an athlete, actor, or politician, reading, traveling, and learning new languages can help you make a better you. Good luck, Venus Williams. All right, so that's the end of letter 11. The next letter is letter 12, living with passion. Quote here, I am having the ride of my life right now. I wish I could take what I'm feeling right now and put it in the water system, and we would love each other a whole lot more. Jamie Foxx. So that was letter 11. That was letter 11 right there. Does anyone have anything that caught their attention? Anything they want to add, talk about from the lesson, from the letter, anything at all?
Nah, I ain't got none up.
All right.
I mean, good stuff. It was made you second guess some things. I'm just like, bro, like, how do you just drink water to commit to a movie? But you know,
Yeah.
that's a sacrifice, I guess, when that's your profession. But yeah, nah, I'm hungry just thinking about that.
Yes, sir. You got something, Travis?
Yeah, my bad. I just wanted to touch base on what you had said earlier about your subconscious. I believe that's the, like the core of a lot of our problems, and like because we're pretty much like fighting ourselves to be better.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is the main issue.
Sure.
What I've come to realize in these last couple of weeks is that we all have like a nature, like like we like our nature, like who you are as a person.
Yes.
And I think that even though we may not like things in our nature, we should work with our natures, not try to like overshadow who we
Yeah.
really are by trying to be good, better people or whatnot,
hmm
but just look at our naked selves and see who we are and build on top of that.
Yes, sir. Yes, that's
You
good.
know,
Yes, sir.
because being a good person is not easy. I mean, the whole self-help thing and all that stuff. You know, after a while, people tend to like they don't care anymore.
Yeah.
No,
And that's because they're not being their authentic selves.
exactly,
Like you could be a good
exactly,
person in your authentic self. You just gotta
exactly.
figure out what
And I,
that
I
is.
feel like,
hmm
that boils into like moral codes and all that stuff. And I feel like all that stuff is just shallow. Like it's just shallow like concepts to keep us controlled. But that's another conversation. But
Now,
I just think like like we all know what we want to do and we all how we want to be.
mhm,
We just gotta look at ourselves like fully,
yeah,
and just be honest. And like if, like for example, like procrastination, like we all have troubles with procrastination. But like instead of being hard on ourselves and trying to like be not procrastinate, it's just there's a reason for why we procrastinate. Like energetically, mentally, we may not be ready for things that we want to do. There's a process in
yes,
all of us
yeah, yeah,
that makes us behave the way we do, and I think that process is what's important. Like why we think the way we think, why we do what we do
yeah.
every single day,
mhm.
and I think that's the most important part of like development as a human being.
Yes, sir. You're right. Yes, sir. You're right. Real quick, Hale Harper was talking about in the book about how one thing can lead you to your passion, or you be passionate about one thing that leads you to your purpose. And that I recently discovered that, like when I started coaching, I thought coaching when I started coaching basketball, I was playing for a long time, and I liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't my passion. But when I started coaching, I was like passionate about that, and I thought I was going to become a college coach, professional, all of these things. And I used to put a lot of work into it. And then I finally realized coaching wasn't the thing.
Mm.
Coaching allowed me to do what I actually love to do, which was be creative. Like, so I'm drawing up plays, seeing my plays come to be, teaching, educating, molding, shaping, leading. Like those were the things that I love to do and that I'm naturally great at. And coaching allowed me to do those things. So once I figured that out, I realized I can do these things and not have to coach to do them. What other areas in life can I do these things in? And so that's, I got that from that. That's one of the things, that I pulled out from there.
Yeah, I mean I could jump on that bandwagon all day, because at the same time, when one of my things I enjoyed when I was in the army was I was an instructor, and so I enjoyed leading, I enjoyed teaching, not because I felt like it was about me, but I enjoyed helping others to get
Yes.
better at their tasks. I
Mhm.
enjoyed, because I was good at relating to that student and helping that student understand what they needed to do to get to that next level. Um, but at the same time, I was in a way intimidated to walk away from that, because I'm like, man, I'm so good at this. And at the same time, that lifestyle, as far as the army, wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
As good as I was at my task, it was hurting my family to continue on in that direction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a balance to look at it, seeing the good and the bad, and to walk away from that. And like you were saying, it wasn't the fact that I was good at that. It was just there was certain things about it.
The attributes of it. Yep.
Exactly. And,
Yep.
and now taking that and putting it in different aspects of my life,
Yep.
like leading like the children's ministries, and where I'm giving back with the teenagers in my church, and
Mhm.
you know I'm enjoying that same give back because I can help relate to these kids, and it's a completely different way, completely different thing of teaching. Can't really yell at them like I would in the Army, but you know,
Yeah.
at the same time, it's good to be able to just connect it in a different level. But it was hard to sit there and give up something I felt like, you know, I thought I was passionate about, but it wasn't that, like the Army. It wasn't, you know, my position that I was passionate about. It was what I was using to give back to others.
Yes, sir.
That was the actual passion.
And I struggled with that same thing when I was coaching. Like, cause I did not want to stop coaching, but I knew I had to move to the next phase of my life. And it was hard, but then, and even afterwards, because I didn't gain that understanding of that until I matured later on. So after I moved up here to Atlanta, and then I wasn't coaching anymore. And then like, so now I'm away from it. I'm like, okay, you know, I'm good, but what was it about coaching that I liked? Like, you know, because I had to deal with, like, I started thinking about all the headaches that I dealt with as a coach, you know, between players and parents and all of that other stuff. And I was like, what was it about it that I liked? And then that's when it dawned on me, wait, hold on. Oh, this is what I liked about it. Like, I used to love just, I'll be up for hours, just creating new plays, like creating new types of plays, creating new defense, like drawing up defense, like seeing these things come to be, like to create a play. Because a lot of coaches, they just go and recycle plays from other coaches. I didn't do that. Like all my plays, well, I won't say all of them, maybe, you know, 95% of my plays were original plays that I literally sat down and drew up and created myself. And to see that come to be in reality, that really excited me. Like to pour into my players. Like we would have road games, and on the bus or in the van, we wouldn't even talk about basketball. Like we would be talking about life. Like my players would ask me, like I'd be telling them like, hey, when you get to college, you know, this is how you can lower the cost of your college. Like this is how you can lower the cost of your tuition. You could take, you know, CLEP test. You could take the Dante's exam. Like, you know, you can, you know, if you don't want to be in a class a whole semester, you could take that same class and they go for 4 weeks on the weekends. And after 4 weeks, you're done with the class. You just got to sacrifice 4 weekends. And typically those classes are, the teacher isn't as stringent on you. Summer classes, a lot of times the teachers are more laid back in the summer classes. Take your summer classes. Like those were the things I was telling them. Like we're talking about, you know, religion, like we're talking about everything. And that was what I enjoyed about it, those aspects. And then when I realized I could do those same things, now what areas can I do those same things in? And that was like, I don't have to pigeonhole myself to this one thing. No, I can go and do it anywhere, in any fashion. And this is me, and this is who I authentically am. So no matter what it is that I'm doing, I'm able to do. Even when I go do my gigs and my stuff, like if I get opportunity to talk to a customer, we talking, I'm gonna try to teach them something. It ain't even me forcing it. It's just, it happens. Like matter of fact, Travis, did you learn anything new from me when we were talking?
Well, just like during your session?
No, when I remember when I came and did those jobs.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a client. Like then I just naturally just started talking and teaching. Like that's me. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm going to be able to do that. And no matter where I'm at, it automatically comes out. So I don't have to like be in something that I don't want to be in, because I can transfer the skill anywhere. So yeah. You had anything else you wanted to add, Travis?
Oh no, I mean, yeah, that was pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah, for now at least.
Okay, good. All right. So we are we're finished up, gentlemen. We're gonna be here tomorrow night, 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Appreciate you gentlemen for being on. Appreciate everybody who's watching this video at a later date for taking the time out your day to watch this and to get better. Y'all have a beautiful evening. I'll see y'all later.
All right, stay safe.
Yes, sir.
Have a good one. Take it easy.
Y'all too.
You too.
All right.